Good Tuesday afternoon, everybody. Meteorologist Greg Majewski back with you here in the North Georgia Majewski Studios with your Talking Live forecast update here on your February the 17th, 2026. Also happens to be Mardi Gras, so happy Mardi Gras to everybody. Well, it looks like we're in store for some changes in the form of clouds and looking at some rain coming at us here first as we go into this weekend. Then get ready for some abrupt changes in those temperatures as we go into early next week as Old Man Winter is going to say, hey, not so fast. I'm not quite done with you yet in our forecast. Now, before we get into this full update, if you're new here to the Talking Live broadcast channel Facebook page, please give us a follow. And if you happen to be watching over on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. And more importantly, make sure you hit that notification bell so you're alerted on future forecast updates just like these. All right, let's go ahead and start off and take a live look there in Chattanooga. We got a little filtered sunshine coming in for right now as the clouds are going to be thickening up and going to be lingering, especially going into the weekend. So it's going to be sticking around for a few days. And despite those clouds, we're still going to be seeing temperatures running above normal. Looking up here toward Lake Chattooga as well, looking at some of those high clouds moving in as well with some of that sunshine, but things not looking too bad up there as well here for your Tuesday afternoon. Now let's go look at our local radar. We are all clear. Expect it to remain that way at least for another day. I think the rain chance is going to hold off really till we get in more into Thursday. But the real rain comes in on Friday and Saturday, and even that's not a ton of it. But we'll take whatever we can get at this point because of the developing drought conditions across our area. Satellite picture showing those high clouds moving on in. They're going to be thickening in and expecting generally mostly cloudy skies across all of East Tennessee and North Georgia as we go in for tomorrow. And that's going to be lingering a while until that front clears going into the second half of the weekend. Now, looking at how things are warming up out there, things are nice. Everybody's out in the 60s for this afternoon. No frontal boundaries in the area just yet, but we are going to be seeing eventually a cold front move its way in as we go into this upcoming weekend. And behind that front, that's when that colder air is going to manifest itself and move back in across the area. Let's go ahead and take a look at our forecast models. We're going to look at our intermediate model here first as we can look for the next 84 hours. Get watch that little timestamp there up on top as we kind of go through this as we're looking pretty good going into Wednesday. A little green showing up on here, but again, I think we're going to be too dry for that. If we get anything, I think predominantly it's going to be a little bit later. Again, nothing too heavy out there showing up on this, but as we go into Thursday, I think that'll be a better chance to seeing some rain around the area. So I am going with about a 30% on Thursday. And then as we go into Friday and Saturday, that's when we watch the frontal system come on in here and we start seeing a little thickening up of the action. So you notice the darker colors of green coming in here as we go into Friday morning. So watch that closely. And its front's going to get hung up too. So it's going to kind of get into the area. It's going to linger a bit. It kind of clears out there late in the day on Friday, but then we're going to watch another wave or kind of form along the boundary down here toward the south, and it's going to work its way back up this way. So as we go and switch over to the European model here, I'll kind of take you here forward from this time forward and watch the rain kind of come back up here again going into Saturday. So we got a couple of rounds of rain coming into Friday and Saturday. Then on Saturday, this begins to push off toward the south. You notice those blue lines starting to get closer to us. That cold air comes on in here going in towards Sunday. So noticeably colder on Sunday, and looks like Monday's going to be pretty nippy here going into the 23rd. Quite cold as you see that freezing line goes way out to our south here. So things are going to be much, much colder here going in toward your overnight Sunday and going in towards your Monday morning. And it looks like that's going to stick around for a couple days, probably right into Tuesday, still holding on to that cold air going into Tuesday. And then as we go to Wednesday, notice the cold air moves on out. We get a quick warm up here, quick rebound as the winds keep coming back around from the southwest, and we warm back up again going into the middle of next week. Now let's go ahead and look at your forecast maps. Let's watch this. Again, watch a little timestamp there on top as we kind of go through the days of the week here from our friends from the National Weather Service. Again, going into your Wednesday, pretty quiet here for the most part, looking pretty good here. And then as we go into Thursday, that's when we'll bring in some scattered showers in the forecast. And as we watch, wait for that frontal system to kind of move into our direction. So we got the one front coming in there on Friday, but again, it's going to get hung up a little bit. Not going to be in a big hurry to clear on out as a little wave kind of forms along that boundary. And then by the time we get to Sunday, things begin to clear on out, but it's going to be a bit breezy as well. Again, we got all these isobars between this low pressure out here and high pressure building in from the west there, giving us that windy conditions there on Sunday. Monday should settle down the winds just a little bit, but still kind of on the cold side for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. That high will be right on top of us. Again, once it shifts off toward the east, then we'll see things begin to warm up as we go into Wednesday of next week. So here's our forecast here for Chattanooga. Again, cloudy skies expected here for tomorrow. Noticeably milder overnight, probably by about some 7, 8, 9 degrees warmer overnight because of the cloud cover. So 68, 55, and everybody here across East Tennessee, North Georgia, fairly mild overnight, mostly cloudy. The wind's also going to come up a little bit from the south at 5 to 15 as we head toward dawn. And then daytime highs mostly here into the 60s, even a 70 down there toward Calhoun near in northwest Georgia as things will continue to be on the warm side. Notice the wind's also blowing at 10 to 20, so a little bit more of a southerly flow coming in here and cloudy skies expected. Regionally, in the entire southeast, looking at above normal temperatures and a lot of cloud cover out there as well. 73 in Birmingham, 77 in Jackson, as well as Mobile, 74 in Savannah, and 68 degrees in Charlotte. Next 7 days, here we go, as we're going to see, again, temperatures getting up into the middle 70s there on Thursday. Then here comes the rain on Friday. We start cooling it off on Saturday, and then there really gets cooler there on Sunday, and we're going to hold it in the 40s and 20s for Monday and Tuesday. And then I expect by the time we get into Wednesday, we're going to see a quick rebound in those temperatures going into next week. So it's going to be a quick hit and run with the cooler weather moving in here across the southeast. So get ready for some wet weather here for the weekend. Unfortunately, I don't think Saturday will be a washout. I think it hopefully should be clearing by later in the afternoon. We'll have to fine-tune the timing on that as we get a little bit closer. But it looks like we're in store for continued mild weather here for the rest of this week before we see those changes come back with colder temperatures, at least briefly, going into next week. Again, I appreciate you guys checking us out here on the Talkin Live broadcast channel. Please give us a like and follow there on Facebook, and make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you're alerted on future updates on YouTube. All right, you guys take it easy, be good, stay safe, and we'll see you tomorrow. You guys have a great and safe day. Bye-bye.